Remember women, you were born life giver, miracle creator, and a magic maker. You were born with the heart of 1,000 mothers, open and fearless and sweet. You were born with the fire of queens and conquerors, warriors' blood you bleed. You were born with the wisdom of sages and shamans. No wound can you not heal. Well, this was just some of the verses from a poem by Reese Leva. Welcome to Well This Morning, this special transmission on the 8th of March, ladies and gentlemen. Today happens to be the International Working Women's Day, and Pakistan left celebrating it. If you watched our show yesterday, Pakistan was anticipating this day as well, and we were sharing with you some different events and marches that are going to be held today. So today specifically, we will be celebrating every woman of Pakistan. No matter if they're working or not, all of you happen to be the heroes today. Happy International Women's Day to all of you out there, ladies and gentlemen. Well, not all heroes wear capes. Some do wear uniforms as well, and that is what we are celebrating here in the studios today. We are celebrating women from our forces, different fields, of course. We are celebrating women who actually wear uniforms to their work and who really are the heroes of our nation. Now, most of you do know I belong to a military background, and one of the guests that we do have over here happens to be one of my major inspirations. I've seen her, I've seen news packages about her being on TV as well. Well, she happens to be only the third female military Major General in Pakistan, and I'm so proud to have her on our show today. So I feel like we should be beginning the conversation already. I cannot wait to introduce this amazing and exciting guest with you. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, on my right-hand side, as I have already mentioned, I've been joined by someone who happens to be a massive inspiration to a lot of women out there in Pakistan, and I'm pretty sure across Pakistan as well. Well, this is Major General Nigar Johar, Tamga-e-Imtiaz Military, who happens to be the now Commandant of PEMH. Hello, assalamu alaikum. Welcome to the show, ma'am.
Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you so much for being with us early in the morning. And I'm so happy and proud to see you in this uniform, ma'am. You are a true inspiration for everyone out there.
Thank you so much.
Well, next to Ms. Nigar, we have with us someone who again happens to belong to the forces. She is from the Navy, and again, it's a great pleasure to have her on the show because she took her time out from her working schedule. She is Lieutenant Commander Javeria Naseem and the Assistant Secretary PNBA. Hello, assalamu alaikum. Welcome to the show.
Wa alaikum assalam. Thank you so much.
First of all, I know it's a great task to wake up early in the morning, but not for you guys. You already, as I mentioned, you are the heroes. You wear uniforms. These are sort of, capes in disguise. So I feel like it's not an issue for you guys to be waking early in the morning, right?
Exactly. We have been trained for this.
Exactly. Wow. So to start with, ma'am, you belong to a military background. That I know because I've seen quite some documentaries about you. You always wanted to be someone belonging to the military? Because I do know when you do belong to such a family, at some point in time, every kid feels like I am going to, be a part of the military as well, seeing their parents.
Yeah, that's right. I do belong to a military family, and my father was an artillery person.
Wow.
And he was a gunner. So I always saw him in uniform, and that fascinated me from the beginning. Okay. And then I actually wanted to be in the army, and I had to struggle to come to the army because he was not for it initially.
Oh.
But then I had to make him convinced, and I had to make my way. And finally I'm here, and I'm so happy that I'm here.
And we're so happy that you're here. But when you're talking about some of the challenges that you had to face, of course, I understand that it was not the issues that, withstood with your dad that he wouldn't allow you to be a part of it, but it was the society. And because there are so many sort of taboos connected to, working women in our society. Yeah, so what were the challenges?
That's right. I basically belong to a value-oriented family, and they thought that the jobs were not for women, they were for the men.
Right.
So my father was not against army, not at all, but he was against me doing some job. So he wanted me not to do the MBBS, but then no jobs for me. So that was the difficult part for me to convince him.
And sadly, ma'am, I have to say this, a lot of women out there, especially a lot of women that even I know, who happen to be, studying MBBS or BDS in so many different fields, but unfortunately, their families or their in-laws wouldn't allow them to practice it. That is such a shame. I mean, you are just wasting someone's entire life of studies and then wasting the seat they got on merit as well.
That is what I say, that the women, they need to have their power to decide. And with, like we say, the empowerment of women. So for me, empowerment is the power to make decisions for herself at least.
Absolutely.
So in our society, unfortunately, the females, they have lesser power to do that. And even in their own education or in their jobs or in their so many decisions for themselves, they are made by the men, either their fathers or their husbands. And I feel it is not that they are against women, but because of the cultural norms, as you mentioned, or because of the society pressures that they are groomed in a certain way, and then they become overprotective towards you, probably, and that is why the barriers come in, and then you have to break those barriers.
Well, I love it, ma'am. You said that one of empowering women is actually enabling women to make their own decisions, right?
Yeah,
that is absolutely true. But coming to you, ma'am Javeria, you did not belong to a military background, but your dad has been a support throughout this process, right? Tell us all about it. How did this start? Did you have to convince them a lot?
Exactly. For every person, there is a support behind that person. So it may be the father, mother, any person could be behind, because individually a person could not take decisions. He needs moral support all the times. So it was my father and mother as well, because she was also supporting silently. So it was not obvious so much, but my father was at my back and he always supported me in every step. Like I started my academic career, and I even remain indulged in the extracurricular activities as well. I remain the athlete of in my schooling, and then I have also played badminton, table tennis, and then I was the part of the university cricket team. So it was all because of the support of my family.
Wow. So and you mentioned that you were also playing with some of the national players that we have now representing Pakistan.
Exactly, like Didadar, Marina.
Wow.
I have faced the ball of Marina. It was so speedy, and it was like that. It was just a glimpse of. I have seen just the glimpse of that ball, and I realized this thing, that it was just thrown to me just to hit me, not on the bat. So it was, now I'm watching that these people are becoming this celebrity.
And making such a great name for Pakistan, mashallah.
Exactly. It was their priorities, and they met their aim, and my priority was to serve my nation at the forefront. So I achieved my aim, alhamdulillah.
Wow, that's brilliant. But did you not feel any, sort of challenges coming from the society? I mean, it's great that your parents, especially your father, were supporting you. But I'm pretty sure there were some people, coming to your father, "Beti ko ye karne doge?" It usually does happen. Shaadi kar do, kya karegi Navy mein jaake? So did it really happen?
So I would like to express here that these type of negations could not reach to us. Just because of that, there was a filter. My father was the filter. He did not realize this thing to us, that people are saying this thing, people are. He just the man of words and rule. He always take the decision by imagining and analyzing the society. When he has given me permission to for the participation for extracurricular activities, and even I have given very good. I have taken very good grades in my academics. All throughout life, I have received A grade.
Wow, mashallah.
So it doesn't mean that we have to compromise. It was also my like I have contributed that I have seen this thing, that if somebody is supporting me, definitely I have to give them the desired result, and I have to keep that person so honored, that everybody should say that yes, the decision he has taken for his daughter was the perfect. Nobody could take that type of perfect decision.
Right, thank you so much for saying that. So ladies and gentlemen, on this Women's Day, we're not only celebrating women, but also the men who support women and stand by women in the decisions that they make. They enable and empower them. So here's a small package for you, all of you out there who, which represents the females and the women, the amazing, amazing women working in the forces of Pakistan. Let's take a look at this, and then we come back with a conversation with these amazing women.
I'm Captain Varda. I am an engineer.
I'm Major Wajiha Arshad. I'm the Grade 2 officer in ISPR.
Captain Sana Ayaz, Core of EME, Electrical and Mechanical Engineering.
I'm Sub-Lieutenant Aisha. I'm from Education Branch.
I'm Brigadier Nagar Johar, Deputy Commander, CMS Rawalpindi.
I'm Major Dr. Sayyida Rifat Naqvi. I'm a colorectal surgeon, and I have a special interest in breast surgery as well.
I am an aeronautical engineer. We work on different systems of the aircraft.
There were courses, physical military courses.
We get those bombing missions and also I find those things interesting.
I was trained how to hold different kinds of guns and rifles and small pistols and all that.
This is a daring course.
It was tough. It was very tough.
You are the force which has to take the guns and move up till your target and invade the place.
On my first mission, I knew I never wanted to go back.
Think of all the Islamic states. You think of all the developing countries. This is the only country which has had 2 female general officers. No one else.
I do have a choice, and I chose to live in Pakistan.
It's the easiest to work being a female in Pakistan.
Pakistan is my country. I was born here and I was raised here. And I think there's no match to Pakistan anywhere in the world.
Service before self and country before everything else. This is my country, this is my place, these are my people.
I've got my roots in here. I cannot leave my country. I would not leave my country.
Well, this was amazing to watch, and one of our guests over here, Major General Nigar Johar, Tamka Imtiaz Military, she was in one of the packages as well that we just showed. But coming back to you, ma'am. Now, as I've already mentioned, and I will keep mentioning, you happen to be an inspiration for a lot of women out there, but let's discuss the theme for this year. So like every year, you know, we have a different theme for this year's Women's Day, and it happens to be Think Equal, Build Smart, and Innovate for Change. What do you feel about this theme? Do you feel like this is going to bring a change to the society?
Yeah, the change is already there and it is coming, but it will take a long time.
Yeah.
So the change is surely happening and the things have changed. When I was younger and I was a captain, so then the things were different. Even in the army, the females were not allowed to specialize in so many specialities. They could only specialize in gynae and they were not allowed to specialize in other things.
Right.
But now they can specialize in anything that they want to. So it's not only in the army but in the society as a whole, the change is coming. But it will take a long time.
And you know, since we are speaking about change, you said they were not supposed to choose anything other than gynae or something, but you were a part of the change as well. I mean, mashallah, you have received quite some civil awards as well, and you were the first female to get a command as well, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Wow, that's brilliant to look at. But ma'am, if we look at the SDGs for the world, in Vision 2030, if we are looking at a planet 50-50, do you think Pakistan will get there? Because just yesterday, we had different people on our show, we were talking about Women's Day already, and they said the same thing, that the progress is happening, but the pace is slow.
The pace is rather very slow, and the things would happen, but I don't know how much time would it take, because even if you take education, so the women education is far behind than men, while the population is more than the men.
Yes, absolutely.
So that means that by 50-50, I don't know when we are going to reach that goal, but I'm happy if we keep on moving and we are keep on increasing the pace.
Yes, of course. Then we'll get somewhere, of course, in the Vision 2030 at least. What do you think about this?
Basically, the pace and these type of goals, you have to, first of all, you have to set the lines and goals for yourself, because it is the individual effort.
Right.
If I would say that the government should have take these type of decisions for me, no, government could not take, because it could not see the like temperament, the guidelines, from where they can see that we have the talent.
Okay.
So when I will take the steps and I will contribute positively, and I am facing the challenges, and these challenges are not nothing, not like stopping me from attaining my goals. So definitely government and all the environment will support you. So the one line I have read from the Alchemist, that when you need something, then the whole universe will conspire to give you that and support you to achieve your goal.
Absolutely.
So it is our individual effort. Like I'm here, I have definitely, it was also my effort.
Yes.
and also my father, mother, they were also supporting me,
system,
but
course,
you
yes.
have to also be very much willing that you have to do this. If some person is pushing you and asking you, please you have to do this, and you are not willing, so definitely you could not get the desired results. So for the desired result, we have to contribute positively, and we have to look, we have to foresee the things.
Yes,
Like
absolutely.
if always like are the mindset of our females, we even I meet with so many females that they say that even I have done the this paratrooping. I have jumped from the aircraft.
Wow.
So
Must
people,
be so much fun though.
yes, most of the time whenever I used to tell anybody, the response is the same.
Okay.
So people ask it, how could you do this and you did not feel fear and these type of, everybody used to ask me this question. But the thing that it was my aim that I have to do this, regardless of the age, regardless of the challenge, which type of it is. Whenever I get the opportunity, I did that, and alhamdulillah it was very amicably done. So it is the message also for me that if you, there is will, there is the way. So we have to increase our courage, and we have to support our women, that we don't think that we could not do this.
Of course.
Always think that we have to do this.
Yes, where there's a will, there's a way. This was Lieutenant Commander Javeer, and a scene for you, ladies and gentlemen. But coming back to Major General Nigar over here. Ma'am, you know, when you belong to a society like Pakistan, mashallah, first of all, let me tell all of you, both of these are mashallah, mashallah, happily married, and they have, you know, stricken a perfect balance between their professional and personal lives as well. So when you were, you know, coming into this, everyone knows that when you belong to the military background, you have to keep shifting places as well, because you have to serve the nation from different places, of course. So when, you know, you were getting married, was this an issue that you should drop this? Because of course, when you have a family, when you have a husband, you'll have to cater to their needs and your in-laws' needs. Did this come up?
No. This was not an issue in my case. My marriage was an arranged marriage.
Oh, wow.
And he was in an army at that time. So that was not an issue initially, and even it was not an issue later on, because my husband is a very, very supporting husband.
Wow,
so although he was out of army, but he never told me to leave army, and he was always supporting. And I feel it is mainly because the women is supposed to keep the balance.
That's true.
So there's the term that there is a work-life balance, that I feel the responsibility is more on a female.
That's true.
So if you are balancing your work life and your professional life, and the family is satisfied, then there is no reason that anybody would push you to leave army or to leave your job.
That's absolutely
true. By the balance, I don't mean that the 50% time is devoted to your home life and 50% life is devoted to your professional life, which can't be done. I mean, then you have to set your priorities.
Yes, that's true.
At a moment, at some time of moment, you will have to prioritize and give more time to your child, maybe a sick child. But at other time, you will be working more in your professional life, and for days you will be more concentrating on that side. But then you know that you should be spending quality life with your family rather than the quantity of time is not important, but the quality is important.
Absolutely.
So if you are keeping all those things together, so I don't feel that there would be a problem. And similarly, I feel that most of the things in the house are supposed to be managed. You don't have to do the washing and the cleaning and the cooking yourself, but you should know how to manage them, because all a husband wants is that the things should be there for him. The house should be clean, the clothes should be ironed, the food should be ready, and if everything is being done, then I don't feel that there should be any problem.
But okay, on a lighter note, ma'am, was there ever a time, can you recall a moment, when you really had to do extra hours for your work, and when you came back there was like a lot of chores to do at home as well, and you were sort of angry that you wish this could have been done on itself?
No, I was never angry, but there are times when I work more in the office or in the hospital, and I have to work a long hours, and it's very often. But then when I come back back home, and if I have guests at home and there are people around, so I have to work more at home. But I don't feel irritated or angry because I have been in this kind of atmosphere for the last more than 3 decades.
Wow.
So now I feel this is not a problem with me.
Right.
I don't
also,
feel
doctors are always, interacting and communicating with their, patients as well.
That's
So I
right.
feel like conversation must not be an issue for
not
you.
at all, not at all. Rather I feel I am sort of a friendly person who likes to talk to people around.
Wow.
So if there are people around, I'm happier rather than, I don't like to be in a quieter atmosphere. I would rather prefer having friends and family around.
Wow, and that is the spirit, ma'am. And I feel like this is the reason she's so successful today, mashallah. But since we are talking about mothers defending motherland, we have a mother here. Well, we're talking about Lieutenant Commander Javeria over here. Ma'am, you happen to have 2 daughters. Do they ever feel like, early in the morning when you're wearing your uniform, are they stunned like, Mama, you're a hero? Does that happen?
Most of the time when due to the scenario change, like it was the scenario like it might be the situation of war.
Yeah.
So our uniform get changed. When I put on this uniform, which right now I am wearing, so
Yes.
my elder daughter Ishal asked me that, Mama, wow, you are looking so smart. So these are the compliments for you, that it is the revival of your
The
ambition
efforts that you put in,
and
yes.
efforts. Like it is the revival of things that we are looking good to our family members. So it is the part of the motivation.
Yes, of course.
So when they ask me that, Mama, you are looking smart, Mama, you are looking fresh. So it is the contribution and reward what I have been contributed toward the family, I get at that time.
Wow, that's brilliant. But do they ever say कि बड़े होके मैं आप जैसा बनूंगी, मुझे भी नेवी में जाना है? Or do these things inspire them?
There is a conflict. Basically, my elder daughter is 5 years old. So most of the time when she goes to the CMH, she asks me that I would like to be a doctor. So she even learned the word stethoscope. And when she watched the current scenario situation and watched the aircraft 17 jet, then she said that, Mama, I would like to be a pilot. And then last time I taken my both daughters to the 23rd March parade. And since that time, she just most of the time asks me that, Assalamu alaikum Pakistan, because these type of lyrics we heard when the chief of the air staff used to enter into the parade avenue with their welcoming words that Assalamu alaikum Pakistan, these sort of the lines. So most of the times she used to say that, Mama, you would be sitting in the parade avenue and I would be entered with my aircraft, and then I would say Assalamu alaikum Pakistan. So it may not be the possibility that she would be there, but it is the people, kids are learning these things due to this environment. These are the motivation and patriotism. Since 5-year-old is nothing, but they are getting the message for their country. And they never ask that, Mama, don't go to the office.
Wow.
Mama, don't go. But they do ask, Mama, please come on time.
Wow.
Please come early.
That's so sweet. I mean, I'm pretty sure you're raising them right, mashallah. I'd love to meet them someday.
Exactly.
But ma'am, you being a doctor, I mean, as I've already mentioned, you happen to meet a lot of people belonging to different segments of the society, day and night. I mean, lately, a lot of my friends have graduated and become doctors, and they tell me stories. I am stunned. If I were in your place, I'll be very honest, I'm a weak person. I wouldn't be able to deal with all that. So looking at all those issues, and then of course not being able to share it with everyone because there's sometimes the personal confidentiality comes in as well. What do you think are some of the taboos about women that need to be broken in our society?
There are so many taboos associated with women in general, not talking about doctors, but women in general.
Of course.
And for example, talk about inheritance. For a male, this is his right. But if his sister would ask for inheritance, this would become a crime. And similarly, there are so many other things. So if a man, wives die, so everybody would tell him to get married again.
As soon as possible.
As soon as possible. But if a female is a widow, and if she does the same, then it would not be considered right.
She's frowned
upon. Yeah, so there are so many taboos that are still there. In a divorce, a man it is okay for a man to have a divorce, but for a female it's a taboo.
It's sort of a wrong label
yeah,
for
wrong
it if
label.
that happens,
So there are so many taboos, and all these taboos, they have to be broken.
Broken, of course.
Yeah.
But ma'am, I know this is going to be specific, but I think all of us have seen this as well, even in media representation too, that there are still some families in our country that when a daughter is born, the husband often leaves the wife in the hospital, never returns.
That's right, that's right. And similarly, if in a hospital, we all the time see there are so many deliveries every day we have.
Yes.
And on a boy, there would be celebration, and there would be
distribution, all over the place.
distributing sweets and everything. And people would be congratulating and all those things. But when a female is born, so there are very few occasions then when there are celebration. Usually it's quiet. But I feel that the things are changing over
but
here
did you ever
also.
get to school them over this as well? Was there this one person or probably a family that you got to school, okay, nay, this is the right way to treat this person and you should not be doing what you're doing?
Yeah, that's right.
I'm pretty sure
that's
a lot of
right.
times,
That's right, a lot of time, especially the education level that makes a difference.
Yeah, definitely.
So the people who are lesser educated, they are more into it, and they are more concerned that this should be a boy. But every time, like you were speaking about taboos, I feel it is so wrong to put the blame on the female, that it is because of her that I have 2 daughters or 3 daughters. It's not right. It is not even scientific. But that is what happens in our society.
Right, absolutely. And that is, unfortunately so sad to look at, because as I've already mentioned, I do know people, some people who happen to be doctors, and they're telling me stories from what happens at their work, and it's unfortunately so sad to look at. So fingers crossed for a better and prosperous Pakistan right now. Ladies and gentlemen, we're headed out to a very small package that one of our correspondents made for celebrating the women in Pakistan. Let's take a look at this, and then we will be back with the show. Good morning.
History proves it's not easy being a woman, handed down to play multiple roles in their lives, but their role is central in running affairs of a family in our society. Ours is a society where male members are dominating most of the professions that are supposedly harsh in terms of public dealing. These professions include vending on streets and driving public transport. Take a look at these women who defied all odds to protect their respective families and decided to take on with the harsh times. Yasmeen is the first female fruit seller of Islamabad. She is a single parent and the only breadwinner of 4 children. Setbacks in life forced her to make a living off a fruit cart, which is her sole source of income. She faces challenges but pays no heed. It's not easy, but for her, giving up is not an option when there are innocent mouths to feed. The trend of women as truck drivers has started gaining popularity among women of Pakistan. To earn a handsome livelihood for themselves with a new identity, Shameem Akhtar from Rawalpindi is Pakistan's first female truck driver. Like many cases, hardships followed her way and she chose to drive vehicles to support her family. The 60-ton yellow trucks are a familiar sight around Pakistan's largest open pit mine in the Thar Desert. Usually driven by men, now the region's women are eyeing a road out of poverty by snapping up truck driving jobs. It is not a matter of having pity on female bread earners, but it is a case of hailing their maturity. These working women demand nothing but equality and respect, which the society is supposed to give them. Dozens of women have started the profession of bus driving, truck driving and rickshaw driving in a male-dominated society, which is very daring and courageous. Take a look at the female heroes of our country. We are indebted to Ms. Fatima Jinnah, Benazir Bhutto for leading the political struggle. We are equally thankful to the daughters like Arfa Kareem Randhawa, Maryam Mukhtar and many others for making their marks on our history. Need of the hour is to identify and salute these women who have nothing to offer but a show of courage that ultimately brings some relief to their families. Sima Babasi, PTV World News, Islamabad.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're having such a great day in the studios over here today. I am surrounded by some amazing, inspiring women, and right now we are going to speak about something serious, and you need to learn from this. So, ma'am, starting with, was there ever someone, a woman or even a man who supports women as your role model when you were growing up?
Yeah, my mother was that.
Wow.
She was the unsung hero of my family.
Yeah.
And she was there always to support me. Even when I wanted to be in the army and my father was against
Not ready
it.
for it,
So, yeah. So my mother was the main, she had the main role in convincing him. So she was always there, and she was always behind everything that I did, and she was always motivating me and telling me to do things.
So she was your hero?
Yeah, she was. And she, in different ways, my father was also a hero because he always supported me, he always cared for me. And as I already told, going into the army, he was not against the army, but he was against my job. And similarly, I feel that we need men as well for all the things. Because the men and the women together make a society.
Definitely.
And we need their support as well as fathers, as husbands, as brothers, or as sons. So we need to make them convinced that they have to empower us, and they have to give the females the rights to their education and to their jobs and to their home life and to their marriage and to even when it is a father, so he is deciding basically for you for everything. So we have to convince the fathers, and then it becomes, then there is a husband. So then he starts deciding everything for you. So we have to convince that husband also, because the woman has the right to her health and to her antenatals and to her birth control and to everything. So all those things are decided by the men, but they have to be decided. The woman has the full right to decide for herself.
She has the most stake in all of these decisions, of course. She needs to decide. I feel like that is absolutely true. I mean, there's no male society or a female society. Coexistence is the answer.
Yeah.
Of course. What about you? I mean, who was this one person that you grew up being inspired by?
For me, presently, I would say first thing, my mother was the inspiration for me, because she remains the silent worker.
Okay.
She all the time try to make myself ready, all the things, like even I remember this thing that when we used to study and we do not know that where are our books. So I used to ask my mother, Mama, I need I need chemistry book. So he must be knowing where is my chemistry book, where is my biology book, and where is my mathematics book, and which register is where. So it is also a very like supporting part of her, and all the time she remains make myself prepared for every challenge. And if there is any functions and Meena Bazaar, these sort of things, so I damn care about my preparation. My mother always used to bought the dresses and matching shoes and jewelries, all things. So when I came out of my home just because of this job, then I realized this thing, that which type of support I was having. Now I am alone, and I felt that I have been left abandoned. After that, now I have learned with the passage of time these things, but before this I was totally dependent on my hero, my mother.
Wow, that's
and
so sweet.
Definitely father is always remain on the, he always teach you that what is the society, how you have to react, how you have to remain yourself, the readiness, and what should be your presence toward the word. So mother always remain bugged you up, that you can do, and father always guide you that you can do like this. This is the way you can achieve your goals.
And you know, Ms. Javeria, since you mentioned that whenever you lost something or you couldn't find your book, you had to go to your mom, it happens so many times. So I mean, every other day when we're looking for something, you can't seem to find it. And then your mom is like, Agar mujhe mil gayi na, fir dekhna. And then she always finds it out of nowhere. I can't believe this. But I feel like I'm going to take this opportunity to congratulate my mom on being such an amazing woman and being such an amazing presence in my life. Happy International Women's Day to you as well. And I really hope my sister gave you a breakfast in bed today, because you do deserve it. But coming to you, ma'am, we have been discussing that men supporting women are entirely equal to, women supporting themselves, of course, and they are a need of the society. But in today's world, when things are progressing, well, as compared to the previous years, they are very progressive, yes. So what can men, brothers or even fathers or even husbands, in what roles can they support women?
The first thing that they should do is let the women decide for themselves.
Yes.
That is the main thing.
Entirely.
That
yes.
they should not be deciding for her. And secondly, the protective role should be lesser.
Okay.
Because when it exceeds and it goes into the boundary of the rights of the women.
Right.
So they should be giving a little room, a space to the women to decide for themselves and do. And otherwise, they are there and they are always supporting, and we all have support of them.
Absolutely true. What about you? Men's role, I mean, how can they, in today's age, how can they play a role in supporting and empowering women?
It is always related to the person who belongs to you.
Okay.
If my husband, my father, my brother is supporting you, me, and likewise for every woman, their father, mother, brother are supporting. So basically it will make the society who will support the women, who will show the confidence on their women that they can do, they have the equal capabilities, like we have been born with the same hands and feet. So if it has been decided by Allah that I have to give this creature something lesser than the male person, so definitely Allah would give us less, like Allah would give us one hand because we are not at par with the male counterparts. So definitely Allah has given us the equal strength.
He created us all equal.
Exactly. He has given us wisdom, everything. So it is now lies on us how we are contributing. Sometimes we remain act pessimistically and we want ourselves to be protected. So this behavior should be curtailed. If we have to come on the front foot and we have to say that yes, if you feel confident that we can do this, yes, we can prove this thing. So it lies on us that how we react. When we always remain pessimistic and we submissively act on any incident, so definitely people think upon it that she is not the right person to be represented by for this event, so they replace the person. So this lies on you, your family, that they are supporting, they are showing confidence on you. So you have to play very well so that next time the first thought should be you.
Right, that makes absolutely perfect sense. Well, since we are talking about Women's Day, ladies and gentlemen, there are some issues that do withstand in our society, in our culture, that we do need to address. Ma'am, what do you feel like are, you know, in the social protection system, of course, even there are some unfortunate women in our society who are not even safe or protected in their own houses. How do you feel about that?
I feel this is a real problem, and the women, they are beaten by their husbands, and then they take it because they feel there would be, if they don't take it, the marriage would fail. And then there would be people who would say that ये हो गया और वो हो गया और
लड़की में
खराबी थी, and she would be blamed for all of it. So then she takes it, but there are certain things that should not be taken, and there should be a no to certain things. Although I feel there are so many compromises, rather I feel the compromise word is not right. We should say there are adjustments. There are adjustments in a married life, but that those adjustments does not mean that she should take the abuse of physical abuse. So that should not be the part of it.
Also, ma'am, you know, honor killing is also a part of our society. Unfortunately, very sadly, I have to say this, but there is no honor in killing. What do you feel about that?
There is no honor killing. So because how can a killing be an honor?
Definitely,
it can't be.
It's never an honor. Of course, if you're
especially, I feel very odd about it because we are working to save lives. So I actually feel so odd. How can somebody take life for nothing?
Imagine
for
that.
An honor? So how can that be?
And especially for a loved one, I mean, for your child, imagine that. I mean, it's beyond my imagination. I can absolutely not even begin to decipher the concept of this. But also coming to you, ma'am, you know, the type of job that you have, this is not only physical labor, but mental and emotional labor as well, right? So how do you sort of balance all of this?
I would say that most of the time I remain indulged in these things, that I get tired and I am not managing things. Although I am managing things, but I was not satisfied. Then someday I found this thing, this verse of Quran. It is the dua, like Ya Hayy Ya Qayyum bi Rahmatika Astaghith. So since that day I recited, and all the time I used to recite whenever I'm anywhere, I'm sitting quietly, I'm sleeping, and when I open my eye, I felt that I was reciting. Since that day I make my habit of reciting this. I think that my difficulties have been converted into my easiness
Wow.
in my life. Whenever I face any challenge, I feel that I can counter it. I can do in this way, I can do in the other way. I should wait. Like this type of we say that courage
Yes.
can build up due to these. This is the really a part that our religion has given to us.
Right, most definitely.
Because when we do not discuss your points and your issues, and you could not, even nobody could solve your problems, so there is Allah.
That's absolutely right.
So,
and you know, I love your attitude. I love your approach towards life. Absolutely love being here in the presence of these ladies. But it was so lovely to have both of you over here. Again, you are so inspiring. And now that I've met both of them, I've spoken to them about their lives, their families, and their work, I am even more inspired. So towards the end, ma'am, from you to all the women out there in Pakistan and everyone across the country as well, because we open our windows to more than 45 countries in the world, a message on this auspicious day. Please go on.
Okay.
Yes.
The Women's International Day is about celebrating the successful women and the women who have struggled and who have broken the barriers and who have achieved something. And this is not to celebrate actually them, but it is to motivate and inspire the younger women out there that if we can do it and if we can reach this, then they can also do it.
Right.
So they should be working for it, and if they are working and they have a sincerity of cause, so there is no reason that they should not excel,
Right,
and then
definitely.
they reach the any heights that they want.
Thank you so much for these kind words.
And I feel there was a quotation by Churchill, and the quotation was that they see things and they say, why? I dream of things that are not there, and I say, why not?
Wow, thank you so much for those wise words. What about you? A message from to all the women out there from you.
My message for all the women is that you have been sent to this world just due to some purpose. So try to find out the personal legend. What is the reason behind that you have been sent to this world, and you have not been sent just to run the normal routine. So try to relate your life with some aim and goals. So then your life will be like very much tempting, very much contented for me when you are searching and you are behind some goal and you are chasing some aim. So my message for all the women, please try to make yourself, evaluate yourself, and feel that you are the very integrated part of this nation.
Wow, thank you so much for those amazing wise words. And towards the end, thank you so much for being here with us. Major General Nagar Johar Tamka Imtiaz Military, Lieutenant Commander Javeera Naseem, thank you so much for your presence here today. So ladies and gentlemen, towards the end, we will leave you with a small package, but that is towards the end. For now, I have something to say. If you're all watching this show, even if you're not, I really hope this gets to you somehow, but we are celebrating women and men who support women today. So if there's anyone around you, any women or girls around you who you feel are weak because of the societal barriers around them, please make sure to support them in any possible way that you can, because you can be the change that you want to bring. And do not forget the theme for this year. It happens to be Think Equal, Build Smart, and Innovate for Change. If you have loved this show, I know I have loved this show because I absolutely loved the time that I spent with these two amazing women. Write to us on our Facebook page with the name of World This Morning, on Twitter, World This Morning without a G, and Daily Motion on YouTube, World This Morning as well. The repeat you can find at 11 p.m. tonight. Till the next time, take care, good morning. Let's head out to this sweet package about women.
A balanced world is a better world. How can you help forge a more gender-balanced world? Celebrate women's achievement, raise awareness against bias, take action for equality. Achieving a gender-equal world requires social innovations that work for both women and men and leave no one behind. The theme for International Women's Day 2019 is Think Equal, Build Smart, Innovate for Change. The theme will focus on innovative ways in which we can advance gender equality and the empowerment of women, particularly in the areas of social protection systems, access to public services, and sustainable infrastructure. It begins with making sure that women's and girls' needs and experiences are integrated. At very inception of technology and innovation, it means building smart solutions that go beyond acknowledging the gender gaps to addressing the needs of men and women equally. All day, every day, around the world, a more gender balanced world is being forged. Individuals and groups are making concerted balance for better worldwide through tangible actions. From grassroots awareness raising to highly visible campaigns with impact, gender parity is being forged. This beautiful creation of God, the angel on the earth, makes our life wonderful experience altogether. Imagining life without a woman is quite hard hitting. The fact that all great people of the world are born from the womb of a woman, and it is a woman from whom the great people have taken their initial teachings. And that is the reason we have always emphasized upon giving a due respect to women in their life. And that is why Women's Day is celebrated with so much zeal and it has spread throughout the world. And I'm Shahzad, PTV World News.